The population issue now is in the front burner, and coincidentally, most of the screening are actually people who are coming for the very second time. It's actually renomination, and we have perused through the credentials presented in the first instance and compared to the ones that they have also presented, and we have found very few little gaps in terms of dates, about 2 or 3 people, and that we have alerted them. So therefore, before we transmit this result to the Senate next week, we will look for a very clear date. Otherwise, most of them you could hear yourselves, baristas, former members of the National Assembly, former senators, former members of the State Assembly, and former commissioners of population. So we are good to go on pursuing this population endeavor.
Yes, sir.
2 more nominees will take time. If he withdraw this nomination, we'll also, ours is just to receive his nomination, peruse through their data, through their document, and see that they're eligible. And that's what we've done today.
Looking at the way we have been preparing for National Population Census, and
it's about political will. We are almost 11 years without taking the United Nations resolution on population, which comes almost every 7 years. So I'm sure with the political will, this is possible, it's doable, the commission is ready, the personnel are ready. All that we need to do is the announcement by the president that this population census is coming on a date. And once he said it, the international organization will now come in with their support. Without the president declaration, nobody will send in a kobo to Nigeria to support population census.
Sorry, from your own point of view, do you see anything in the way of this census now? Any hindrance that you foresee?
70% of the logistics in terms of machines, in terms of training of the personnel have been completed. So all that we need to do is to have the president to have the political will, commitment to it, and said census is taking place. And we cannot just continue to postpone it. Like I told you, we are supposed to have it. The last time we had it was 17 years ago. And it is actually the basic crux of human development. Without knowing this, without the census, you can't plan anything. And that's why it's difficult now to ascertain the exact population, even pro rata, how many are Nigerians because of this kind of lack of.
I am Right Honorable Alex Okam, a 2-time member of the House of Representatives. God will give me the ability to bring to bear all my experience if I'm screened and cleared today. May God bless me and bless you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Fan MNI. I'm a commissioner nominee from Plateau State. I have been an advocate of women across Nigeria to empower women to also contribute to national development. Mr. Chairman, this has taken me to represent the women of Africa, both at the African Union and NCWS in New York.
Because we have said it all.
Trumps, AK. I come from Abia State. Mr. Chairman, sir, I have been a community leader, having served my community as the President General of the Development Association, which gave me opportunity to engineer development in the community. I've also been active in politics, having been elected councillor at the age of 27 in another state, Anambra State, which is not my state. It's a privilege to have this opportunity to add value to the developmental needs of the country by working as a commissioner nominee.
Bring to bear to all of us here, some of the things that I know Census will be able to solve as problems presently bedeviling this country. First and foremost, even the emergency crisis that we are undergoing today, we have been able to unearth all the areas. I come from Adamawa State. I have traversed the whole length and breadth of the state. I have been to the mountains. 3/4 of my area are mountainous areas. I've seen the problems there, and we have already identified even the coordinates of all these places, so that whenever there's any crisis, it's just for the government to pick up the work that we have been able to do in the enumeration area demarcation by the National Population Commission and address these issues.
My name is Chidi Ezoke MNI, and I come from Anambra State. All the documentations on me you have there. I have been in the commission for the past 5 years, and we have done a lot. And like my colleague from Adamawa said, we have done all the demarcation that is required. At the moment, we are doing NDHS across the country. All these activities are designed to provide much needed data for the country to be able to say, we have this number of children, we have this number of under 13, this number of under 50, these people are housed, these people are not housed. All this data will help the government to be able to make adequate provision for the good of the nation.
On the need to produce a census that for once will be acceptable, credible, and accurate before Nigerian international community. I want to give this assurance as a returning member of the commission that I've been there for the past 5 years under the leadership of chairman of the commission, Comrade Nasir Para, who has not told us to work from an answer to a question. It is obvious to all that he cannot even influence the outcome of his own, the outcome of his census in his home state of Nasarawa. I want to pass this assurance through you to fellow Nigerians that with the system of digital technology we are using for the census, for once Nigeria will be able to produce an acceptable, reliable and accurate census under the leadership of the present chairman.
I'm coming back with a very rich experience to continue to work to give this nation, under the leadership of our chairman here, who has done a lot for the country, so as to achieve a very credible, transparent, and verifiable census. Knowing the importance of census, and my background as a social scientist, I know its importance in terms of socio-economic development. So I'm happy that I'm coming back with a very rich experience. Yeah. And I'm in a position now to push so that, because we have done 65–70% of the work under the leadership of our chairman here. And I believe our coming back will complete the remaining 25–30%. So some of us will not have...
My reappointment is an opportunity for me to continue on what we've done. When I came in as Federal Commissioner 5 years ago, population, I thought census is just getting into houses to count. But with the wealth of experience I've gained now, and the opportunity given, I believe with the support of this committee, we are going to conduct a credible census.
We are geared towards what we call digital census, first of its kind, that will give Nigerians a reliable, verifiable, and acceptable census.
Mr. Chairman, might interest you, I am Professor Itotenan Henry Ogiri. I'm a professor of accounting. Before this nomination, I was a classroom teacher. I was teaching in the university, and I was conducting research. And my key core area of interest is CSR and sustainability reporting, which involve a lot of data collection. And I believe my nomination here is not an error at all.
As Mr. Emmanuel Trump Ike successfully passed this screening, thus, as Mr. Dr. Clifford Zira from Adamawa State passed this screening, as Mr. Chide Christopher Izoke from Anambra State passed this screening, as Mr. Barrister Isa Audu Brutai passed the committee screening from Borno State, as Mr. Bishop Alex Ukam Honorable from Cross River State passed this screening, as Mr. Blessing Brume passed this screening, as Mr. Dr. Jeria Obuna from Ebonyi passed this screening, as Mr. Dr. Tony Ayejina from Edo passed this screening, as Mr. Ijike Ize from Enugu passed this screening, as Mr. Abubakar Dambram from Gombe passed this screening, as Mr. Professor Uba Nebu from Imo passed this screening, as Mr. Saada Tudogon Bauchi from Kaduna State passed this screening, as Mr. Dr. Aminu Ibrahim Sanyawa passed this screening, as Mr. Honorable Yuri Afolabi from Kogi passed this screening, as Mr. Honorable Temitayo Olusheye Olube not here, Mrs. Olakule Sabukola not here, as Mrs. Mary Ishaya Afan from Plateau passed this screening, as Mr. Sani Sole from Taraba passed this screening, as Mr. Ogiri Itotinan Henry passed this screening. Thank you very much, distinguished. Distinguished nominees, this is almost the end of this exercise. The National Population Committee of the Senate doesn't confirm you, we only certify you and transmit this session to the Senate for confirmation. Once the Senate confirms, they will forward the resolution to the President, Commander-in-Chief, Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu, for your final confirmation and house-taking. So we assure you, within a short time, within a few days, we are going to submit our reports to the Senate. Just go home, pray that the Senate as a body will not identify any loophole from our screening. So just pray, but we'll be with you, we'll defend you. We have seen your resume, and then, like I said, we have identified some little non-connection with this thing, either in terms of debt and some other things, and the Secretariat will alert you so that we will have a very conclusive report. Let me, on behalf of the committee, thank all of you, particularly the national chairman. He doesn't need to be here, but he's here because quite a number of you are actually returning commissioners, but the due process has to be followed. It is very imperative while you are on that duty, you do not count yourself as a Hausa man, a Yoruba man, an Ibibio, a Fulani man, an Igbo man, but as a Nigerian. And you must see yourself not representing any religious body, Islam, Christianity, or African religion. It is very imperative that going forward, we must see ourselves as Nigerians. And it is also important. There is no basis for any competition as whether there are more Hausa people than Igbo people, or Yoruba people than Tiv people. That is not the essence of population count. The essence is to be able to develop a mechanism where we lay a plan, developmental plan, that will meet the aspiration of our people. So it is imperative.